Hello, and welcome to clinical support visits at the Bauer-Lyman Center for Medically Complex Children. Clinical support visits are used for weight checks or various injections. Our team had noticed that these visits were taking significantly longer than scheduled. And in fact, most of the visits were not checked out within 5 minutes of their scheduled appointment time. This was causing a lot of stress and feelings of disorganization for our staff, and it was also causing increased wait times for these very brief visits. This became even more critical with COVID-19 protocols, including enhanced room cleaning measures and limiting the number of patients that can check in and check out at a time. And so our goal was to increase the number of clinical support visits completed within 5 minutes of their scheduled time from 24% to 40% by the end of our project. We completed a flow chart that detailed the variation in these visits and measured the time of check-in to check-out, check-in to rooming, rooming to check-out, visit length, all of that. We noticed that there was a large cluster showing most visits were checked out around the right time, but then there were several trailing to the right with checkouts of 30, 40, even up to 70 minutes after their scheduled time. We also noticed a similar pattern with the visit lengths. Many of the visits were completed close to their target length of 20 minutes, but again, there were several trailing off to the right with some visits over an hour long. A scatter plot had showed that patients arriving outside of their scheduled appointment time does significantly contribute to checking out outside of scheduled times, and the later they arrive, the longer the visits tended to be. The biggest contributor to why these visits aren't completed on time is patients arriving late. It was followed by patients arriving too early. However, if patients arrived on time, the process itself very rarely took longer than the allotted 20 minutes. So our regular office visits are typically very well attended. Patients generally arrive on time. They very rarely no-show. These visits all get personal reminder phone calls from our office. However, these reminder calls were typically not done for clinical support visits. So we opted to start doing these reminder phone calls with a script emphasizing the importance of the visit and the need to reschedule if late. So while there were a handful of variables during our control phase, the MAs did report increased satisfaction with how the clinical support visits were going. And those that did receive the intervention were much less late than in previous months. And we were able to make some significant progress toward our goal. Thank you.